Hey, 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 Shalom, Shalom. How you guys feeling today? All praises to the Most High God. Higher, higher. You know what I'm saying? We are doing fantastic. We are doing fantastic. It's just another video. It's gonna be quick, but in my last video, I basically broke down the comparison between Lebanon, Egypt, and also Aslan. And inside of that video, I talked about Aldebaran. So we're gonna dig a little bit more deep into Aldebaran a little bit, um, because there's some things that I've noticed. One of them is the Greek term for Aldebaran, which is called Lampadias, right? It's the word lamp mixed with Adias, which is spelled Lampadias, right? And it means in Greek torch bearer, right? Or torch like. So it was very interesting to me to actually see that. So these comparisons based upon the Greek term Lampadias actually comes from um, the torch of heaven. And when you're talking about the torch of heaven, you're talking about the shining one, which is Ainana. It goes all the way back to Ainana still. Okay? Nothing has changed. So when you're talking about the torch of heaven, you're talking about Aldebaran, and then you're talking about Ainana. Now, when it comes down to the Greek um, personification of the um, torchbearer, we're talking about the goddess of the moon and the goddess of witchcraft, which is Hecate. Okay, um, when you're talking about Hecate, she's the goddess of the moon. She's also the goddess of witchcraft, and she is also the goddess of crossroads. When you're talking about crossroads, you're talking about a psychopomp. Okay, now we all know that a psychopomp is somebody that guides souls or spirits to the afterlife. Now, who else do we know are psychopomps? Well, for one instance, Anubis, right? Anubis is considered a psychopomp too. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about Anubis, just think of the name, right? The breakdown of the name, the Bis of Anu, right? And we've already covered the word Anu already, right? And it means the great mother. So once we see all of these different things, it starts to add up. You know what I'm saying? It really starts to add up. Like, okay, Lucifer is considered Satan in theology, in Christian theology. And then you have Lucifer being the light bearer. And then the light bearer becomes Venus, which is a goddess in Roman mythology. And this goddess is connected to all of these other different goddesses, dating all the way back to the eight-pointed star, which is Inanna. Um, so we have to look at all of the different, you know, conflations dealing with Inanna. And that's exactly what I've been doing. And let me tell you, it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. Just like how we have a statue in New York called the Statue of Liberty with a lady actually holding the torch. But a lot of people don't really understand what that symbol means. They think it means liberty, right? Which technically it's kind of true because the goddess of sovereignty is Danu, right? Irish goddess. We've already covered that. So when you're talking about certain goddesses, you have to actually understand that all of these goddesses are the same. They represent the same thing. They either represent the moon, they represent witchcraft, or they represent something that has to deal with conception. Okay? And this is the reason why we are making these similarities. This is the reason why we're making some of these traits to um, let everybody know that it is the same goddess that they're talking about. When you're dealing with Aldebaran and Taurus, you're or if you're dealing with any other bright star like Sirius, right, which is what we're going to get into because of Anubis. When you're talking about Anubis, right, and I told you to break down the word Bis of Anu, obviously. When you're talking about that, we have to go into the dog star, Sirius. Why do we have to go into the dog star Sirius? Because Sirius represents the pentagram. And we all know about the pentagram. The Baphomet having the pentagram on top of his forehead, right? Come on now. The pentagram is based upon a goddess, and her name was Sabdet. Okay? A lot of people like to conflate Sabdet with Isis, right? They like to conflate Sabdet with Saltis, right? You have to understand that Sabdet is conflated with Anubis. So when you talk about a female dog, what do you call her? A bitch, right? So Sabdet is considered that bitch. Low key. I look, I promise you, when I basically heard that shit myself, I was like, yo, that's crazy as hell to actually think about that. But at the same time, this is what the Egyptians are saying. This is an androgynous thing to actually put a male dog and a female goddess together, representing one star system. It's weird, man. It's a weird study. It's a weird transaction. It's something that is very confusing, only because you're dealing with something that you're not supposed to. And I dealt with it. You know what I'm saying? I dealt with it before. You know what I'm saying? I was lost. You feel me? I was sunk into the science magic. I was sunk into the paganism. You know what I'm saying? But now, since I know my family history, and now, since I know the history of mythology, I could be able to come to you guys and be like, hey, look, that's not us. Hey, look, that mythology over there represents evil. Okay? We have to understand these things in order for us to actually move on. If you consider yourself an indigenous American, if you consider yourself an aboriginal of the Americas, if you consider yourselves American Indian, there is no way in hell you are pagan. None. Indian comes from the word indios, los niños de la indios. This is exactly what these people called the Spaniards. This is exactly what they called your ass. Specifically the Taino Indians. And they called the Taino Indians the children of God. What God are they talking about? The God in their Bible, their Old Testament. So, if you consider yourself an American Indian, just know that any pagan god is a sin. You're sinning. You know what I'm saying? So, we have to understand the Most High. You know what I'm saying? We are the children of the Most High, and this is what I came across. You know? You could tell me what you came across, and then we could be able to have a discussion. But this is what I came across. Okay? I'm coming across all of these different pagan deities, and all of these different motherfucking deities are the same damn deity. Or they represent the mother of all of the deities. Either way, they're still representing the fallen, the people of the sky. And these people of the sky made comfortable here by being chthonic, by being under the seas, by being underneath the land. This is why you have underground tunnels in the promised land, which is America. All of these different things match up. So when it comes down to the torch, right? The androgyny about the torch, once again, when you are talking about Prometheus being the torch god, right? Because he stole the fire from the heavens. Prometheus might be Hecate. And to be honest with you, it's not far-fetched where we are talking about Prometheus being punished, right? Lucifer was punished. I mean, come on, bro. You got to put two and two together. You know what I mean? So that's what I wanted to talk about. Lampadias means torch-like or torch-bearer, right? And it means Aldebaran, which is the home planet of the Anunnaki. So, if I'm not mistaken either, right? I might have to go back and might have to correct myself. But if I'm not mistaken, the Hebrew pronunciation of evil in the Bible is Ra, Ra'ah, and Ra'ah is Ra, Ra in Egypt. I mean, all I'm saying is just do your research. Do your own research. Do the research of anything that I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? Anything that I'm telling you, you could do your research on, and then you can see what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? This shit is crazy. Speaking of the pentagram, we know that the pentagram has been based upon the Rosicrucians and the Freemasons, especially when it comes down to Middle Age Catholicism, which is how they use Catholicism in order for them to invade these lands that don't have to deal with Christianity. You see, because in their Christianity, it was based off of the 5 wounds of Christ. That was their pentagram. And these 5 wounds of Christ was how they perceived, Christianity back then. It was how they perceived the crucifixion. You know what I'm saying? So this is how you get the cross as a necklace or an ankle bracelet, or you have cross symbols everywhere. Signs and symbols. Wearing signs and symbols is like wearing an idol, representing an idol. Idol worship. So just be careful, man. Just be careful. Be careful of what you do and follow the 10 Commandments. That's all I can say. You know what I'm saying? So I love y'all. Told you it wasn't going to be a long video, so I promise you it's only like 13 minutes. It's okay. But I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.